Hi everyone, this is my response to the Day of the Dead production brief, given to us in the context of Robin Ravlich's research for ABC Radio National. Given the present company, it's not necessary to go over the dynamic elements of the custom itself, but as you can see, it's a very multifaceted tradition with a long and colourful history. In other words, the Day of the Dead is the perfect subject, in my opinion, for a dispersed online transmedia project because it contains hundreds of angles from which we can produce expansion text across different media platforms. I interpreted the brief in accordance with our university guidelines, which involved grappling with a real-world problem in a real-world context. From this, I interpret the brief in two ways, the problem and the context. The problem, or aim, in my opinion, is in finding the best way to approach our individual research, like finding stories, talent, and an angle that will allow us to experiment creatively with several media platforms. The context will be to do this in a public and professional way, while allowing our works to physically interact with Robins in a user-friendly online platform. The best way I can see this happening is to approach the project with a small scope, big issue lens that will allow us to produce works under the umbrella of the Day of the Dead, while focusing on the unique perspectives that transmedia projects have to offer. Because we're working in conjunction with Radio National, our audience is immediately more widespread than if we were undertaking this project individually. Because of this, we also have to consider the ways in which the ABC is extending its online networks and find versatile avenues from which to expand upon what we already have at our disposal. So to do this, I started researching other online projects that have worked in a similar way and came across the SBS multimedia project Africa to Australia. The first thing that drew me to this project was the umbrella topic of migration and culture, within which there are literally hundreds of options in terms of storytelling and media making. This particular project is laid out in a spreadsheet-style page of windows linked to individual projects. It's very attractive, intuitive, and user-friendly, and provides avenues for other media makers to interact by contribution while learning about the topic through anecdotal storytelling, scholarly fact sheets, and external links. However, while this project grabbed my attention due to its slick presentation, there was not a strong enough audio focus, nor were there enough ways to link the project to the outside world, so to speak. Though transmedia is a relatively new form of media publication, there are many avenues online built for those who wish to explore it. Ideally, for our and Robin's projects to integrate successfully, we'd need to find an avenue with a sense of hierarchy and balance, but which is also accommodating to other web platforms and authors, kind of like an anchor page. One such avenue I discovered is a site with a pre-existing transmedia network called Peltries. The site allows users to structure their works in much the same way as a Stem and Flow mind map. It's very similar to Visi software and therefore quite intuitive and user-friendly. It's a space where people from like-minded projects can interact online, sharing content from across all media platforms and from all over the world, which is perfect considering the Day of the Dead is a topic that transcends many cultural barriers. From a professional perspective, using Peltries could be a great start in linking us with media makers from across the globe. To access each work, simply click on a pearl or link at the end of a branch, and you're instantly transported to a traditional-looking web page containing the transmedia artefact in question. One particular piece, entitled Reframing Mexico, did a particularly fantastic job of integrating a large handful of different topic areas and media forms, so audio, video, photography, into a series of pages that, while self-supporting in content and imagery, formed a part of a larger series of works, both from the same author and from the transmedia community overall. In light of this discovery, it's my suggestion that we present our works on a platform similar to or modelled from Peltries. If we consider Robin's 50-minute oral piece on the music of Day of the Dead to be the primary artefact, we could place hers at the centre of a Peltry and have our individual works or expansion texts branching from it and spanning across multiple media platforms. This way, not only would we have a visual representation of the ways in which our works were shaped by Robin's ideas, we would be able to integrate our personal websites and ABC pool accounts, Facebook pages, blogs, etc. into the map, and in doing so could expand our social network globally. Our work would be accessible across many sites and self-supporting online platforms, but all be tied to the anchor page in a map that reflects our progress. By choosing a platform such as Peltries, it would be easy to foster an integrated transmedia hub for Day of the Dead, as opposed to a variety of dispersed hosting platforms and projects. Structuring our projects in this way would embrace and strengthen the ways in which transmedia can be used to tell stories, particularly in a professional context. Through this, our media artefacts will not only have the ability to interact with one another's, but will also be viewed by those associated with Day of the Dead, ABC Radio National, or other universities where transmedia is taught as an emerging media-based art form.